Is Kawhi the best player in the world?
Yes, he has been for a couple years now, or at least last year, and I believe he will be again this year by the time the playoffs are over. Look, there are reasons that people don't see it with Kawhi. I get it. He didn't start in the same place as LeBron or KD, whose transcendent talents were obvious and on display early. Kawhi was a grinder. Kawhi was a power forward in school, right? Kawhi comes out, board man gets paid, right? Kawhi comes out as the defensive stopper, and little by little gets better and better and better. And because we've seen the journey and we haven't seen the obvious transcendent offensive ability early, like with LeBron and KD, we kind of have that set in our minds. But let's be honest about what's going on. Guys, Kawhi Leonard is not only really, during the regular season, he's a half step under MVP level. But during the playoffs, everything goes up. He had one of the greatest playoff series of all time last year. But let's go back a little ways. Why did he win his first Finals MVP? And did he deserve it? No, right? LeBron deserves it because that's who he's playing defense again. LeBron was in his full glory, and Kawhi was a puppy. But that's the point. Kawhi was a puppy and got Finals MVP just based on his defense. And then as the series went on, he started dropping 20 points in wins, right? That was as a puppy. Then he kept getting better and better and better until the numbers, the offensive numbers, show that he is right there a half step below LeBron and KD, but his defense is better and he's more clutch, meaning with the chips on the line, his performance elevates more over his usual performance, and I would argue even over LeBron and KD, then those guys' performance elevates, or then what happens to those guys' performance. Now, with LeBron, KD is hurt right now, and LeBron, you could say, well, he wasn't in the playoffs because he was hurt last year. Let's see what happens. And it would be one thing if you wanted to say no one really took the title last year, and so it's vacant until LeBron proves otherwise. But that's not what happened, guys. Kawhi went bananas on the league in the playoffs. He got past the Freak. And by the way, played the best defense you could possibly play on the Freak. I know he was funneled towards the bigs, the Freak was, but in terms of the nearest defender and what happens to the Freak's numbers when Kawhi was on him, it won anything nice, guys. And then he hits the shot against the Sixers. Embiid and Simmons, going around Embiid and Simmons to hit one of the most clutch shots anyone's ever seen. And then he goes on to win Finals MVP. It's not like he didn't do those things. And I'm not trying to hear, well, KD got hurt or else. Guys, if KD doesn't get hurt, of course the Warriors win the whole thing because KD joined a 73-win team. LeBron had no wins once KD joined that team. That doesn't prove anything about KD other than he's a superstar on the best team. Kawhi Leonard, 2 Finals MVPs with 2 separate teams. He's going to do it again. It's going to be the first player to win 3 Finals MVPs with 3 separate teams. He's the best player in the world.
He got dropped. I assume that you're making the argument that he took over this spot because of his run in the playoffs last year, which was hugely impressive, but he got dropped on a good team and fell into an opportunity where the best team was beat up. So it's hard to use that as an argument for him going over LeBron James. It's not as if, I know LeBron's defense has fallen off recently. It's not as if he is not a defensive, or he hasn't been a defensive presence for much of his career, and he doesn't tap into that when need be. And you also put on top of it Kawhi's kind of injury history, at least recent injury history, where he's been hobbling around in the playoffs and he can't finish the season necessarily. If you're going to discount injury, then you could throw KD back in this argument. But again, I'm going to get out the way for Perk because I know he got something to say.
Yeah, and I do, Domonique. Listen, Foxy, I do have something to say. Max, you're wrong again. LeBron James is the best player in the world, and he's the greatest player of all time. But I will say this, Kawhi Leonard is a close second. In my eyes, Kawhi Leonard is a poor man's Michael Jordan. And when you look at the body of work that Kawhi Leonard has put in, I mean, it's crazy. It's tremendous. I mean, when you think about what he did, he challenged the great Greg Popovich and said, you know what? No, I'm going to do it my way. Nobody's ever challenged Coach Pop. Kawhi did. And you know what he said? And the Spurs said, you know what? Well, I'm going to trade you. He go to Toronto and he bring a championship to an organization that had never won anything in the NBA history. And then what he does next, this is the thing that separates certain players. Popular or powerful. Powerful. He had the whole free agency at a standstill. Everybody wanted Kawhi. The Lakers wanted them. KD was even reaching out to him. I mean, everybody wanted Kawhi Leonard because he is a powerful person. He brings that winning mentality to a team. So, yes, he is the second best player. And guess what? When he went to the Clippers, it wasn't no more little brothers to the Lakers anymore. It was equal. And guess what? The owner said, you know what? I had enough. I got Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to move up out of the Staples Center, and I'm going to move to the Forum. So, Max, listen, you were right on a lot of things, but the only thing that I will say, LeBron James is the greatest player of all time, and he's the best player in the world right now, but Kawhi Leonard is second in my opinion.
Well, LeBron will have a chance to prove that. And because I brought up gangsters with Michael Jordan, do you remember the line when Marlo killed Prop Joe in The Wire? And Prop Joe said, but I treated you like a son. And Marlo said, I wasn't made to play the son. Kawhi's not made to play the son. You know, KD's reaching out. LeBron's reaching out. You know why? They don't want to face him. They want to play with him instead of facing him. Kawhi's like, no. I'm good. I want to face you. I want to beat you. I'm not trying to join you. He would have if that's the best chance to play in LA, I'm sure he would have joined the Lakers. But he told the Clippers, if you can get me this guy to help, because he can't do it by himself, obviously. No one can. If you can get me this guy to help, I'm coming to you, because he's coming for the throne.
I just don't get how any of this puts him above LeBron.
Because he hasn't been overthrown healthy. Kawhi's coming.
And that's what I'm telling you, Max. There's only two people that moves the needle like that. LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. But Kawhi Leonard hasn't surpassed LeBron James just yet. Like I said, he's a close second.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything to surpass LeBron James just yet. He had a great run in the playoffs last year, but LeBron has had many great runs and has not fallen off. Last year was an injury situation. We'll see what happens when they match up in the finals, the Western Conference Finals, if we get there.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.